Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's June 24th. This is the Finance and Audit Committee of the California High-Speed Rail Authority. And I will begin by asking everybody to rise so we could say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is public comment. Madam Secretary, could you please read the public comment?
Do you want to do roll call first?
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay. Chair Cava,
Here.
Director Camacho,
Yes.
Vice Chair Williams.
Here.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. Before we begin public comment for the California High-Speed Rail Board of Directors Finance and Audit Committee meeting, I would like to review some important information. For members of the public who have joined us in person and wish to provide public comment, you will be called up in the order we received your card. If you're joining the meeting via Zoom and wish to provide public comment, please use the raise your hand feature located at the bottom of the app. Speakers will be called on in the order their hands are raised. Once you are in the queue and your name is called, please click the prompt on your screen to allow your microphone to be unmuted. If we have any callers joining by phone, I will give instructions on how you can make public comment following the Zoom participants. All speakers will be given 2 minutes to speak. I will remind you when you have 15 seconds remaining. When it is your turn to speak, please slowly and clearly say your first and last name, and if applicable, please state the organization you are representing. Okay. Mr. Chairman, we have no cards for public comment, and also no one is raising their hands in Zoom, so we have no public comment at this time.
Very good. Seeing no public comment, we'll move to the next item. The next item is the consideration of the Finance and Audit Committee meetings of April 29th. And since both myself and the Vice Chair were not present, Director Camacho was present. I did have an opportunity from the General Counsel who sent me a transcript of the minutes of those meetings, and I did read the transcript. I would like to ask Director Camacho that if you read those transcripts and they were consistent with what you had when you attended that meeting.
I read the transcripts and they accurately reflect the actions of the board last meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Moved by Director Camacho, second by Chair. Call the roll, please.
Chair Cava,
Aye.
Director Camacho,
Aye.
Vice Chair Williams.
Abstain.
Thank you. The minutes of the April 29th meeting have been approved. Now we move to the second item, audit report by Chief Auditor. Paula, thank you.
Good morning. Oh. Good morning. I'm Paula Rivera. I'm the Chief Auditor with the Authority. Today I will present information about the status of audits from last year's audit plan, the results of our internal quality assessment, and our proposed audit plan for the next fiscal year. Do we have a slideshow? Okay. If not, I'm a talker. So what I can do is I can go through the presentation and then we can discuss the audit plan in greater detail if you would like.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. So this is graphic of our audit office. The audit office reports to the board and also to the CEO. So we have functional reporting to maintain our independence, and we have administrative reporting to the highest level in the authority. We are organized in 3 teams, and each team has a manager, a lead, an associate, and an auditor. Next slide, please. So the components of our audit plan are performance audits, pre-award reviews, and contract compliance audits. The performance
Speak into
audits.
the mic more.
Oh, sorry.
So thank you.
Kind of a long distance. Okay, sorry about that. In performance audits, the audit objectives are determined based on the nature of the audit purpose in conjunction with management. So what we do is we have a high-level audit identified in the audit plan. We will do our research. We will meet with the executive over the area to be audited. We'll work out our audit objectives, and then we will proceed based on our more detailed audit objectives. We have pre-award reviews on this year's audit plan, and that is an evaluation of proposed rates prior to contract execution to assist in the negotiation of a fair and reasonable price. These are done only for solicitations where the team is chosen on qualifications only. Where price is not a consideration, then the audit office comes in and takes a look at the prices or rates proposed to determine that they comply with the federal regulations and the terms of the agreement, which in most cases are actual cost. We have 2 contract compliance audits that are carryover work from last year that are on this year's plan, and that's going in after the fact where the costs have been billed to the authority. The authority has reimbursed the consultants for the work, and we are going back to look to see in those years that weren't covered by a pre-award, were they complying with the contract? Same sort of thing. Did they comply with the federal regulations? And were their bills based on actual costs? Next slide, please. We follow 2 sets of audit standards. The global internal audit standards, which for an unknown reason are called the Red Book. Those are standards that we follow when we're doing our internal audits. Generally accepted governmental audit standards, also called Yellow Book. Those are the standards we use when we're auditing federal funds. Both sets of standards were revised in early 2024, and we have spent the last year and a half in revising our internal documentation to comply with the standards. And if you're interested, I had kind of a summary presentation, I believe in January of 2025, about the changes to the standards and the things that we're doing differently. And I can give you a briefing on that if you're interested. Next slide, please. Okay, so the status of our prior plan is we had 2 pre-award reviews come through, and we completed the 2. They were both for right-of-way engineering services. We issued an internal audit that we had been working on civil works certification, and we developed an understanding of time-related overhead. The audit plan didn't have a specific workload for auditing time-related overhead, but it's an area we didn't have expertise in, so we spent some time to do some interviews and some walkthroughs to understand if that's something we can be doing for the authority. Next slide, please. We also had 4 contract compliance audits on last year's plan. Bakersfield Extension, we issued that report in September. The Merced to Madera section, we issued that report in January. Burbank to Anaheim, we're drafting the report right now. It was a 10-year contract, and we audited 12 subconsultants. In the Palmdale to Burbank section, we're in the middle of right now. And that's also a 10-year contract, and we estimate that report in October. And those are the two carryover projects from last year to this audit plan. Next slide, please. So this year's plan is to complete our work in progress, and we have 3 planned pre-award reviews, and those are related to the IDIQ procurement that's in process right now. Our audit plan is based on, it's a risk-based audit plan. We accumulate risks that are identified by board members, that are identified by the auditors during the course of their work, and by the executive leadership team. And based on our interviews, contract management is a risk to the authority, and that's primarily based on our contract compliance audits. We've learned that there wasn't always continuity, and sometimes we had 4 or 5 different contract managers in those 10-year periods. So we're going to look to see the authority's done a lot of work putting policies and procedures in place since those contracts started. So we're going to do an evaluation of contract management. The next audit we have is a procurement schedule management audit. We're going to look to see how the procurement schedule is developed and managed. And as a subset to that, we're going to look to see that procurements are following the procedures that are in place. And that thought is, if we're following our procedures and we won't have a sustained bid protest that makes us go out and re-procure anything if we followed the procedures. We can't prevent bid protests, but if we can follow our own procedures and consistently document and show that we have, that's an element towards minimizing them. We also have an audit of governance. We did a review of governance back in 2020, and this is sort of a follow-up at a deeper level. Then we also have an audit we believe it will probably be a survey, but for workforce planning, looking to see how the authority is planning their workforce for the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. Next slide, please. Part of the audit standards is a requirement that we have a quality control or quality assurance program, and each year we need to do an internal assessment of our own quality control, and then every 3rd year we have an external assessment of our quality control system. So in accordance with the standards, we had 2 senior managers look at a sample of audits that we did last year, and we found that they all complied with our audit manual and with the audit standards. We didn't have any instances of non-compliance. And that's all I have. Do you have any questions for me?
I do. In the transcript that I read, there were a number of findings that came before the committee and the board from your prior audits, and I just wanted to, and I know what I read, that the then chair and vice chair were very emphasized that they wanted to make sure that they were followed through by the authority and as well as you. And so I just want to reiterate that as the new chair of this committee as well. So I look forward to that, but I want to make sure there's follow through. And my other issue is on governance. I take it the governance is on the authority governance, not the governance of the board of directors.
Correct.
Right.
That was the risk identified.
Right. So as a new chair, and I'm a strong believer in audits, I would like to ask the board to consider that we add to your governance audit an audit of ourselves, the board of directors, and how we are governing ourselves. And so if you would take that under consideration, and I'm sure we'll talk about it at the full board meeting coming up in a few minutes. So.
Okay, we can easily accommodate that. The review we did in 2020 had an element of that, so it will be well within scope to just to add that to what our plans are.
Right. Thank you.
And related to the follow-up, Our follow-up process in the past had been inconsistent, and so we've developed a new process. One of our auditors did some continuous improvement, and she developed a process for us where we do quarterly requests to whoever the auditee was, and then we're going to do some semi-annual and annual reporting, and we can bring that to the Finance and Audit Committee on an annual basis, every 6 months, or on request.
Okay, well, I like for it to be a set time, so I want to make sure that we are covering and we are following up ourselves. So let's talk about what the best schedule is for the follow-up for this committee.
Okay,
Thanks.
happy to.
Any other questions from? Seeing none, thank you very
Okay,
much.
thank you.
Yep, take care. We move to our next item, the financial update by Chief Financial Person. Morning.
Good morning, Chairman Cava, Vice Chair Williams, Director Camacho. My name is Jamie Matalka. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for the Authority. And today I'll be giving a summary of the June 2026 financial reports with data through April 2026 and a look ahead for key initial data points for May of 2026. Okay, starting with our next slide, we continue with our timely payment of invoices. Our late streak has now extended to just over 9 years of paying our contracting partners timely. Our total disputes are at 108.9 million. One contractor accounts for 97% of this total. However, this total is down 64% since August of 2025 as a result of significant efforts to resolve outstanding disputes with the same contractor. At the bottom half of the slide, we provide an update on our cash position. Right now, we're at 3.8 billion approximately, comprised of 127 million in Prop 1A bond funds, 3.6 billion in greenhouse gas reduction funds, 14.4 million in property management funds. Our cash balance does reflect the recent processing of the February 2026 cap and trade auction, but does not yet include the May 2026 cap and trade auction proceeds, which is projected to increase our cash balance by 192 million. I will cover a little bit more in the board meeting of what's changing with cap and trade and cap and invest, so I'll just save that unless you have questions now. Generally, the process for the proceeds from an auction take about 2 months to hit our cash balance. Next slide, please. Okay. The highlights for our administrative budget and expenditures report. There are no changes to our budget authority of 117 million. Expenditures are consistent with prior periods. And as for our positions, we're at 394 filled positions of the 508 authorized for the reporting period. This is an increase of 17 filled positions compared to the same period last year. And our overall vacancy rate slightly improved to 22.4%. Any questions on this slide?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Do you mind, Mr. Chair, if I just sort of interject a couple of questions?
No, Vice Chair Williams.
Going back to the invoices.
Yes.
And being a new member of the committee, you might have to indulge me a little bit, just kind of catching up on some of the history. But you mentioned the outstanding or the disputed invoices, and you said that one of those accounts for 97% of the dispute total, so 100 and some odd million.
Significant portion.
And is this, but you made a comment, I just want to make sure I'm clear. Is this same contractor also the source of prior disputed invoices? Is this sort of a pattern?
Yes.
What's the situation there? Can you
Well,
just-
I say it this way, not to necessarily call out the contractor because
You
they
can
have
just
their
talk in general.
position on
Yeah,
it.
that's fine.
But they've submitted invoices prematurely that have charges that we have not merited for things that they are claiming for. So we dispute that, which is a normal process, especially any big project like this would have. The value, though, was pretty significant. However, when I mentioned the fact that we did reduce that significantly, that's because we did take action to resolve a significant change order with that contractor.
Got it.
And-
That's helpful.
As you can see, we're not done yet. There's still
Right.
more work to be done.
That's helpful. And then just a question on the vacancy rates. that still is a generally, and it seems like it's been an ongoing, historically higher than, normal in, let's say, state government,
Yeah.
for vacancy rate. What is the challenge? Maybe this is just a general question for the CEO. Just what are our challenges on filling those positions, and what impact is that vacancy rate having on our operations?
It primarily is driven from the way we have classified job classifications. So we have used other state departments' classifications, and then we are trying to hire for rail. And so there is a mismatch on the salary brackets where we can get the rail experienced folks at a higher salary, but we can't because we are using the classifications that are more directed towards highway projects. So what we have done, and it's going to be about in a month time frame, we have reclassified for rail, and we have like 35 different classifications we just created. It took us about 6 months to build those, and then we will be submitting those to the administration and the Cal HR to appropriate those in their filing system so we actually can hire the people that we need. That work was very intense for us to create new classifications. And as you know, in the state system, it's hard to create new job classifications. So the work on our side is done. Within a month or so, we will submit those, and we will push to get those registered so that then we open the vacancies. The salaries are aligned with the kind of people we are trying to hire.
Next slide, please. Okay. Next slide highlights our capital outlay and expenditures report, reflecting no change to the forecast, still at 2.07 billion, and expenditures slightly lower than the last reporting period. At the bottom of the slide, we provide a breakout table of additional details on budget and expenditures by line item category, which this is something I think becomes very helpful for our new members, so you can see where the budget is tied to, where monthly expenditures are occurring as a category, and how we're doing against that. Okay. Now, the budget focus on completing the civil works from Madera to Wasco, right? CPs 1, 2, 3, and 4. Purchasing of high-speed rail commodities and high-speed rail track laying, advancing the early works activities in the Merced and Bakersfield extension. Early works activities is just an overall term for design efforts, right-of-way purchasing, and utility relocations, and also geotechnical analysis as part of design. Environmental clearance work on the last remaining project segment of Phase 1, which is Los Angeles to Anaheim, and supporting our regional projects, what we label bookend projects. Okay, next slide, please. On the next slide, we provide a highlight of our total project expenditures and funding, and it summarizes a cumulative view of the revenues and expenditures for the program. To date, total project expenditures are just under $16 billion, and approximately 84% of that total has been funded by state resources. As for revenues, total identified revenues is approximately $40 billion across all funds, with state resourcing the majority of that at 93%. Next slide, please. Our next slide, we provide an update on grant funds and also state match liability. There's nothing to report as we invoice the federal government for work under the active drawdown grants. We report back exactly how much did we receive or where it is in the hopper. But for this reporting period, we don't have anything to report. Next slide, please. Okay, slide 7 provides a summary of our contracts and expenditure report, which reflects a total of 205 active contracts with a value of $13.1 billion. And the remaining contract commitments total just over $2.5 billion. The 3 main contracts within that commitment is mostly our design build contract, CP1 and CP23, and the third highest is our Link US commitment down in Southern California. At the bottom half of the slide, we provide an update on progress against the KPIs for our small business goals. The left side table provides updates against our pre-November 2023 goals, which reflects a 1.3% growth year over year in the overall small business utilization metric from 24.2% to 25.4%. Does show we're slightly behind target for DBE, but well above target for DVBEs. The right side table provides updates against our post-November 2023 goals, which reflects us meeting or exceeding all targets except for our DBE goal. Now, we do see that increasing as more contracts come online under the new goal set. Finally, small businesses actively working on the project increased to 994, an increase of 5 since the last reporting period. Next slide, please. Our next slide tracks our new way of doing business and efforts to more efficiently deliver the program through multiple award contracting and providing a status on owner-procured high-speed rail commodities. For the reporting period, we have 3 actions taken to report. 1, a task order issued to Bancroft Construction for civil works at the Canal 922 in Kern County. 2, a task order issued to Terra West for well abandonment mitigation services, also in Kern County. And 3, a contract executed with Rockla Concrete Incorporated for manufacturing of high-speed rail concrete ties. All this is posted on our website as well. We include the links on the slides in case anybody's interested in seeing more information on this, but this slide is to, again, provide additional transparency on our new ways of doing business. Next slide, please. Okay, contingency usage, which reflects 10 executed items for approximately $8.2 million and no change orders or governance actions over $25 million to report for the April period. The uses of contingency include 8 change orders totaling $5.5 million in CP1, the largest of which was for $4.7 million to compensate the contractor for additional engineering services during construction. Activities like increased activities for field design change reviews, construction submittal reviews, material certifications, and as-built reviews. The other 7 changes total approximately $800,000 and ranged from $6,000 to $360,000 to compensate the contractor for increased work for activities such as revised testing standards from our UPRR agreement, Form B modifications, City of Fresno deposit requirements for road closure at Fresno Street, and additional design work. There were no change orders for CP23 for the reporting period. And for the CP4 and other contingency category, $2.2 million and $600,000 respectively, those uses were to fund additional coordination work with BNSF at the railhead in CP4 and construction work in CP23. Okay, final slide. All right, our look ahead slide. Typically, we report preliminary numbers for the next reporting period in 3 areas: capital outlay expenditures, grant funding, and positions. However, we did have a little bit of room, so we added owner-procured material commodities to give a look-ahead view on what's happening there. For capital expenditures, we do see a significant increase and are expecting to close the May reporting period at just shy of $214 million. This is largely due to the first milestone of Guideway turnover being met by our design builder and construction package 2-3. I'm also happy to report that we are drafting 2 applications, one application for Consolidated Rail Infrastructure and Safety Improvements, also known as the CRISI program, where we'll be asking for $1.86 billion to support final design and civil works on our Merced Extension project. The application is due this month, and we plan to turn it in. And the second is for the Urban Greening Grant Program, a state grant for $5 million that's due in August. This grant will fund nature-based solutions at the Fresno Station area to reduce urban heat island impacts and improve microclimate conditions. As for position vacancies, we have no material change to inform you of. And finally, for high-speed rail commodities, there will be 2 new contracts to report, one for OCS poles, OCS stands for Overhead Contact System, and the other for cable troughs. This ends my presentation for today, and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from the committee?
Thank you.
I see no questions. Thank you, Jamie. Now, the next item, the Central Valley update by the chief construction person, Ed.
Good morning, Chair Cava, Vice Chair Williams, Director Camacho. I'm here today. This is Ed Fenn, Chief of Construction for the Authority, here to present Central Valley Status Report for the month ending of April 2026. Next slide, please. Typically, as an overview, we have here $71.2 million of expenditure in the month of April. As our CFO had gone into detail, we had $5.5 million in change orders. Our risk contingency is at 15.9%. Construction labor for the month in the
Could you
Central
speak a
Valley.
little bit closer to the mic? Thank you.
Construction labor in the Central Valley for the month of April was at 1,461 craft workers. Going on to progress, we have 62 structures complete. 27 are underway at this point, and 3 are not started in CP1. Guideway, we're at 87 miles complete. Continue to work on that, 23 underway and 9 not started. If we go to next slide.
Could I just ask for myself the definition of not started? I know what not started means, but is it their plan, but they're not started? What's sort of, why aren't they
No, good
commencing?
question. So for CP23, every structure has been started. For CP1, we have 3 structures that have not been started due to sequencing of operations. In other words, in one instance, we have to relocate the railroad prior to starting that structure. So it's a very sequenced operations within the city of Fresno. We're in April now. By the time we get to June, I'll be telling you that they have started. Yeah, so we're close.
Very good, thank you.
Yep. On the utility relocation front, we have 94% of them relocated. 40 are in progress, and 66 are not started. Similar type scenario. It's sometimes we have to uncover work or shift traffic in order to access the area to relocate utilities. For right-of-way, as we see there, it's in bold. We now have the 2,288 parcels required for the construction of the initial segment, the 119. So that's 100% complete. So that's a milestone for the authority and for the team. That's correct. No, not the bookend project. Yep. I think in the future, we'll have a slide that more clearly delineates that. Yes. Yeah, I think we need to take a fresher look at this next month when we have some time to kind of update slides. We've added some more detail in these slides as well, just to capture the whole 162. Our railhead, in essence, where the contractor will be mobilizing to the site at the railhead, probably within 2 months, 2 or 3 months, setting up their construction trailers there. They've submitted a plan for their material deliveries, stockpiling of materials. So we're progressing that, site security, things of that nature in preparation for activities that we'll see in October, November timeframe. That area will be busy. Next slide, please. This is our typical trailing 12. These are expenditures that we talked about, the 73.8 million for the, 56.3 for April with a forecast of 73.8 for May. And if we can go on to the next slide. Here's our craft trailing 1 year. We're right around the 1,400, high 1,400s, which should be consistent for the next few months. Next, Justin. If we go to next slide there. These are new slides that we added. We're starting to focus on the completion. So this is a list of the structures that are either underway or not started. As you can see here, we have a % complete for each of the structures as well as a monthly progress. So as we mentioned before, 62 structures are complete. Right now, we're working on 27 of them. And if you can go to the next slide, it'll show the CP2 structures.
Again, for CP 223, we've discussed the completion at the end of 2026. So right now we have all these structures that are being progressed on a monthly basis. We'll continue to track those and they'll start falling off the list as we get more complete. Next slide, please. Guideway, similar fashion, we've identified the locations that we're actually constructing guideway. There's the 119, 87 miles of those are complete, and 23 we're under construction now. Guideway not started, a consistent comment in between those structures that are not started. That's the guideway that's not started as well. Next slide, please. More detail as far as each of the guideway segments broken out based upon our schedule, what is active and the projected completion date for each of them. Next slide. Here's our charts on utility relocations. We have the 1,826. We completed 8 for the month of April. And then you can also see our underway is of 40 currently being worked on. If we go to next slide. Right away, this is one of our good stories. The total of 2288 that we have for the initial 119-mile segment is complete and in the books. And next slide, please. We'll not go into the detail of this, but this is a graphical representation of our program schedule. Most notably shows that the completion of the installation of track and systems by the end of 2029, which is our grant requirement. And this shows basically the overall sequencing of the work, represents all the turnover dates. Be more than happy to go into detail at any other time if you'd like to, but this kind of tells our whole story, how we're putting this thing together. And go to the next, and I believe this is just the railhead. We talked about this. In the next few months, we'll see much more activity down there. The track has been installed for some time. Now that we have our TSCC contractor on board, they're developing their schedule. We're coordinating with them as far as the owner furnished material deliveries that they'll take at the railhead themselves, take ownership of that. So there's a sign-off process, a quality process associated with that. And they're currently working on plans to get their construction trailers mobilized at the southern railhead, which will be one of their terminus, one of their muster points for their craft to go out and construct the guideway, which again is within the next 3 months we'll be seeing activity out there. That's all I had for today. Any questions, please?
Vice Chair Williams?
Yeah, I want to just ask a question. You can go back 2 slides to the forecast. That cool little, go back. Yeah, that one right there.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make sure I understand in terms of the track and systems work. Are we still I don't have a ruler, so I can't line up these dates.
Yeah.
But in terms of the pre-track work and the track laying, we got mobilization, pre-track work, and track laying. We're still projecting Q4. Is it
Yeah, that's right.
Q3 for mobilization and Q4 for track work?
That's correct. If you go all the way to your right, you'll see CP4, and you see the pre-track work, which I think you've already identified in that track laying bar there, starting in Q4, progressing into June 2027 is our completion date for track laying for the CP4 segment. That's you're compressing a lot of work there. In December, it'll certainly be started and there'll be track on the ground in Q4 of 2026.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I won't be presenting to you any longer.
That's kind of why I was asking. And in terms of, I mean, we're already at we're at the end of Q2 now for all intents and purposes. Are we on track to start the mobilization? What is the current status of being on track to meet this timeline?
Yeah, so this is, I mean, we're clearly laser focused on this. There's a lot of detailed schedules being put together. So our key material deliveries, we talk about almost on a daily basis. That's our track, or excuse me, our rail, our ties, and our ballast, which in essence is the track laying segment. We have some civil work to do prior to that, putting down sub ballast. By the next week, we'll have a detailed schedule that we've agreed upon with our contractor. We're in the midst of putting that plan together right now, but it's clear to the whole team, and it's achievable to lay this track in 2026. And next time we meet, I'll be able to give you much more detail.
Oh, Mr. Chair.
Seeing no further questions, thank you, Ed, very
Thank
much
you.
for that presentation. And I believe, Madam Secretary, that was the last item on today's agenda. With that, the meeting of the Finance and Audit Committee is adjourned.